Are you always on the lookout for unique, off the beaten track, just really different tools that you can use to make your abstract art? That is the one thing that really moved the needle for me, was when I realized that half the artists out there that were getting these really cool abstract, non-representational paintings, they were not using the typical standard paintbrush all the time. And that's when I realized I had to put the paintbrush down and start reaching for things that would not allow me to control my marks as much. And I want to share these 4 that I just got. We went on vacation in Italy to visit one of our daughters that was living there. And I've done this enough to know that I've got to go to hardware stores wherever I can, or restaurant supply stores, just places where like, could I use whatever that is? Sometimes I don't even know what they're used for. But I'll look at it and I go, ooh, I can use that. And, for some of you, especially those that live outside of the US, this may be ordinary for you, but not for me here. So the first thing, they look similar to some of the tools I have. Now, I just thought it was really cool, this paintbrush. I got this, all of these came from a hardware store in this little tiny town in Italy. And I've seen these kinds of brushes before, and I do believe I can get them in the US, but they were, if I remember correctly, around $20 a brush. And I paid €3 for it, which if a euro was to a dollar, it would be $3, but it's a little bit more than that. But how cool is that? And what I love about it is the handle is long enough, and it's got this angle, this crimped angle, and I can't control it, and I can't get the same marks. And because of that, it works really well. The next one is this, which, it kind of looks like a trowel, except it's got this thick sponge on here. And I love it because, especially when I'm working large, I can create these unique marks because it spreads the paint so differently than any other tool. And I could do thick or thin. I could do multi-layers of thin transparent paint, and I'm going to get a totally different mark. And similar to that are these 2. So this one is also just like a trowel, but this rubber part here is very different than this. This is like a typical sponge. This is very rubbery and dense. And it's fun to use. And this is the same thing in the longer one. And you can see I've already started messing around with them because there's paint on it. I believe these are called in Europe wallpaper smoothers, or something similar to that effect. And I learned about this from an artist in Canada that uses this, and she called it a wallpaper smoother, and she had made mention that we don't really have them in the States. And so I thought I would go out when I did go to Europe, let me just see, right? And lo and behold, I'm like, that looks like what she'd mentioned. Now, I mean, it was in Italian, so I have no clue, but so I got one of each shape, and they really do make different marks than this. And it's cool. It's just so cool. And so when you're taking into consideration, like, how can I get those unique marks on my paintings to make them look almost, I mean, there's so much possible. You can make it look like graffiti-ish, raw, just very real and raw and messy. And I love that look too. It's a rough look that it comes across very unplanned, but when you see all the colors together, it's just so cool. And the best part is you don't have control like you would with a typical standard brush. So keep that in mind. When you're out there, when you go on your travels, take a peek into a local hardware store, or if you see something like a restaurant supply store, or even a cooking, especially in different countries, they are always going to have things that we just don't have, like wherever your home country is. and keep your mind open. If you can, pick something up. I'm like, these, I told my husband, like, I don't care how much, like how tight my suitcase is, these are coming home with me. And I've been having a blast with it. So keep your eyes open, look for those tools, bring them into your art, and just have fun with it.